Skalkberger, my feud with Skalkberger Senior.
Yeah.
In those days, we were part of the same Province Craven Week in 1973, I think it was.
Okay.
72. Yeah, in Stellenbosch.
Yeah.
We had a great week, but I was playing with Skalk and other boys from Paul Boys and Paul Gym. 2 weeks later, when the term started again, we had a Paul Gym away. Well, it was a great rugby match, although we won 10-9 in the final minute.
Yeah.
They drew a picture of me lying on a stretcher in plaster of Paris and things like this. And they stuck it under our change room door just before the start of the match.
That's a great story.
I knew this was Skalkberger.
Yeah.
Trying to, Seppi du Toit was their centre. No, they were full of nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the rivalry was there.
The rivalry was there,
And you still speak to him these days?
Of course. Well, actually, I'm coaching his grandson.
His grandson, Skalk.
So you got Skalk Senior.
Yeah.
The Skalkberger now.
Yeah.
See on TV, great guy.
Yeah.
His son, Skara, is in my under 14A side.
Welcome to The Biggest Man in Cricket with your host, David Brooke.
Peter Kirsten, we're in this beautiful setting of Sax Boys High School. Where it all started for you, we'll get into all of that from the start to where you are today. Welcome to The Biggest Man in Cricket. Thank you very much for making time to have us here.
Okay, thanks for inviting me.
Only a pleasure. Our audience has been calling, and one of the names for what people wanted to hear from was Peter Kirsten. What is Peter Kirsten up to these days? Before we look back in time, what's Peter Kirsten up to these days?
Well, sitting right here, as you say, it's a lovely setting back at my alma mater, Sax High School, and getting involved with the coaching. I've been away for 4 years in the UK. So back 5 months, getting back into the whole culture of the competitive sporting, not just cricket, but everything else. And been invited to come back and give my pound of flesh with mostly under 14s, but also infiltrating up to the seniors.
Yeah. Coach
Alan Willows here, head of cricket. So it's been going quite nicely, although I'm yet to win a match with the under 14As.
That winning spirit is still burning inside you, eh?
Well, that's what impressed me when I got back in September of last year, because I've always loved watching the schoolboy sport, cricket and rugby. Even hockey is now very, very skilled and popular amongst the schools. So it's great to be able to be part of that competitive culture. Of course, which I was brought up in, and as I can see, there's this field right next door. Here's my very first match for Sax, way back in 1969, I think it was.
Wow.
So, but that was in the B team. Couldn't understand why they put me in the B team.
Little did they know, eh? Little did they know. Are you shocked these days when you look at schoolboy cricket and schoolgirl cricket of how big it is and how almost semi-professional it's taken these days?
No, I'm not shocked, because I was doing quite a lot of coaching at the time, way back in 2019-20 with the girls' cricket. Started a bit of girls' cricket at Springfield.
Okay.
At the time, I'm not too sure if it's operating now, but not surprised at all, because it's globally.
Yeah.
It's if you can say one thing good about the RCC, they promoted the ladies, the girls' cricket. So I've really enjoyed watching the South African team, Laura Wolfhard and all the other girls, and the skill and the following that it's created. So that's good for world cricket. But at schoolboy level, no, not surprised, because it's always had that vibe. And there's a lot of talent. There's all kinds of talent that I'm seeing. And sometimes you think that, schoolboy sport can become a little bit too professional. So I'm a bit old-fashioned traditionalist to try and, it's the enjoyment, it's the participating. And the teachers do an amazing job. So they've got to teach all day, and in the afternoon comes, and they're great to work with.
Yeah.
So, when I recall it at Sax in my high school days, the teachers were the coaches.
Yeah.
Unless you'd
geography in first innings, and then
that's it.
And then cricket afterwards. Yeah.
And you got to be careful of your teacher, because he might teach you English or geography and things like that, and they vat nie kakkie. But we just come and give a little bit of advice, and
Yeah.
but the guys are great, and it's nice to be back. Yeah,
Do these youngsters know who their coach is?
the parents do.
Yeah. So the parents are going, my kid is coached by the legend Peter Kirsten.
They used to go and watch us at Newlands there, and then you had the scholars enclosure and that old beautiful scoreboard.
Yeah.
Now it's all these remote,
Now it's all digital. The old scoreboard there, the manual scoreboard there in Newlands, and the planes, and those were the days. When you look at cricket these days, and I know that you were at the SA20 final the other day. It's obviously changed drastically since your day, but is it in a good space in your opinion?
Well, I think when you look at the crowds around the country, Graham Smith's done a great job. I think, bums on seats. Wow, it's amazing. So I think it's working. I think South African, for this particular season, I think South African public has been starved because there's no Test cricket.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? We're World Test champions, but no Test cricket in South Africa until this time next year.
Yeah.
Or maybe come December or whatever. But it's colourful, it's entertaining, it's Devil Brevis to get 100, that was a brilliant innings. Great to see him come in early. I think they found his right batting position, number 3.
Yeah.
And some of the shots he played, just amazing. So, but my team won, the Sunrisers.
Your team
the Orange
won?
Army,
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So you support the Orange Army?
I was Orange Army.
Fantastic. That culture, have you had any interaction or... with AD Burrow at all in your career? Have you crossed paths with him?
In the past, when I played for Border, last 7 years of my first class career, eventually retired in 1997, I think it was. So AD was very legendary St Andrews man. His father, Harry Burrell, I think, as they say in the Eastern Cape, Grahamstown, the only 2 seasons. One is the hunting season, the other is the cricket season. But it's great Eastern Cape culture.
Yeah.
Port Alfred, Albany.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that AD Burrell doing very well. He's got a great demeanour, and obviously he gets the best out of his players. Done very, very well at Hampshire.
Yeah.
So he's been able to recruit quite a lot of county cricketers that came out here, and other players like. He played for the Pretoria Capitals, this guy Rutherford.
Yeah.
Jeez, he was entertaining.
He was good, eh?
Yeah.
You enjoy that kind of batting?
Well, I was watching with my other brother Andy, who's been head of cricket at the junior school at Sachs for the last 20 years. I saw Rutherford. I said, is that Ken Rutherford's son? Never heard of him.
He might have been, or maybe ask where he was 28 years ago, maybe in the West Indies, maybe.
I had a closer look and realised, no, it's not his son. But he hit some great shots.
Yeah.
And, they... So I think when you look at it in total, it's, for me, I'm pretty much sold on the SA20 this year because I've been in the UK, I've not watched a lot of it.
Yeah.
Sort of been out of the loop sort of type thing. But,
When you see youngsters coming through, the Jordan Hermans, those kind of guys, it's just creating this depth of talent coming through South African cricket. That's got to be good for the game.
Well, I think 2 things in our favour, which has always been, always will be, is our diverse culture and of course, the schools.
Yeah.
I think we're very strong there. And, of course, the coaching at schoolboy level, I think it's not just cricket, it's look at rugby. I've mentioned hockey. Hockey's just flying.
Yeah.
And so not surprised at all, but just very happy to be part of it, although just starting again. And
It's fantastic to see that a legend like you is involved. And something I've noticed actually with a lot of the schools, we deal with some of the schools, and to see some of the former players coaching the head of cricket at these schools, which is amazing to see. The Nanti Hayward, Johan Lowe, those kind of guys are involved in coaching the next generation.
Well, I think, of course, our reintroduction into international cricket way back in 1991 with the release of Nelson Mandela. Icon just opened it all up for all of us. I was lucky enough to get 12 official test matches.
Yeah.
And 40 ODIs at a later age, and keep yourself fit, keep the hunger going. I think that's important. a lot of factors involved in keeping hunger going. I think, for me, when I did cricket eventually, I was left out of the initial squad of 15, I think it was, for the World Cup in Australia in 1992. Within my world almost. I thought, what? After all this time, Jimmy Cook, Clive Rice, myself, and many, many others, Vince van der Bijl never ever got to play for South Africa. Crazy when you think about it.
Yeah.
Denise Hobson, so that, I think it's the culture and that hunger. Well, I've got to keep mentioning the schools, parents, obviously, teachers.
Yeah.
I had a great cricket coach here at Sachs High School, Mr. Andre Abrahams. Still see him today.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Cheapest.
Yeah.
I want to, you mentioned the 1992 World Cup, and I want to just go just before then to that reintroduction. And it's something that we chatted to Jimmy Cook as well, and asking about, both you and him were at the latter part of your careers by the time we were reintroduced into international cricket. Firstly, take me to the Rebel tours. And you obviously played, I think it was 19 test matches, unofficial test matches on the Rebel tours, captaining 6 times. How was that, knowing that you could possibly, there could possibly be a reintroduction in a year or 2 time?
Well, I think through the mid 1980s, there was no possibility that would ever be reintroduced because of the Rubicon speech by the then P.W. Botha. I took quite a keen political interest, throughout my career, throughout my life. But that was the worst period. But we were playing rebel cricket. It was awful because the country was divided, And, of course, Ali Bacher and Joe Pomensky at the time came and found the money. And so we were labelled the pariahs and things like this, I remember being invited out for lunch by the ANC as captain of that Rebel series. I forget the sports minister's name at the time, but they wanted me to withdraw from the series. Who knows, had I agreed to withdraw, they could have made me Minister of Sport in the latter years. But I didn't resign because I wanted to keep playing. It wasn't a racial thing. It was just, we were starved. So I think, when I say awful, the country was divided. We all played together, but it wasn't official Test cricket. But it was cricket, and the certain sections of the crowd enjoyed it, but others stayed away. Then you had the bombing, the flower bombs, and all these kinds of things. And quite rightly, at my Garing tour, it was cancelled. So I think there was a relief even from us players. Let's get back to normal. There were rumblings that Nelson Mandela was going to be released, and of course he was. And then we were into the World Cup, just like that.
Before we talk about the World Cup, who were some of the players that you played against in that Rebel tour that you can remember, that you enjoyed playing against, the challenge that you never thought maybe you would have played against them in your career?
Well, they were good size, but they weren't the complete size. The West Indies didn't have the Viv Richards. They were loaded with fast bowlers. I'm still feeling Sylvester Clark. He's quick in swingers.
Yeah, he must have been an animal to face.
He was mean.
Yeah,
he was mean.
Yeah,
but they still had 4 good fast bowlers.
Yeah,
but didn't have the Curtly Ambroses and the Andy Robertses and the Malcolm Marshalls when they were at their peak. The batting same. They lacked. Each rebel country that series, they lacked sort of 1 or 2 top guns, in the bowling and the batting. So there's no disrespect to everybody else, but that's how it was. And I think, Franklin Stevenson was a gun.
Yeah.
He was a great operator, not just for the West Indies Rebels, but for Free State.
Free State as well, yeah. I remember that.
One of the greatest slow balls I've ever faced. You were through your shot even before his ball. But his hand speed was the same. And of course, but he was a great competitor, Sylvester. Quite a lot of them. But sadly quite a number of them went off the rails, overdose of drugs and stuff like this, because they were victimized when they got back to the country. Yeah.
Was it quite a big step up from what you had faced in normal cricket?
I wouldn't say, because I'd played 5 years county cricket. And of course, our own domestic competition was very competitive. Good crowds. Now, we used to have Castle Corner here in Cape Town. I now call it Cement Corner. But the competition was there.
Yeah.
Great bowlers, Vince
Yeah.
van der Bijl, Garth Leroux, Stephen Jeffries, loads of them. Rupert Hanley.
What was some of your
came and
best?
played for Transvaal.
Was the Mean Machine province your favorite?
That was a test side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were able to sustain standards. And of course, the county cricket we've mentioned, and then of course young guys coming up. So
how did the county gig come about at that time for you?
my county cricket, well, through Eddie Barlow.
Okay.
At the time, of course, I just come through with Alan Lamb and Garth Leroux. Lammy, the well-known Englishman.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we all went on trial way back in 1976 and found counties. Lammy got Northampton, I got Derbyshire through Eddie, and Garth eventually got Sussex. So that's what happened there. And
You had some of your best times there at Derbyshire.
oh yeah, I spent 5 years there. I should have spent a lot more. You know, Kenny McEwen did very well, brilliant at Essex. Loved batting with Kenny too, Province, and think he's another name that never played for South Africa.
Yeah.
So county cricket was good for us. Vince van der Bijl went over for a season, did very well with Middlesex, Leroux, we mentioned them. Stephen Jeffries followed Adrian Caper, Daryl Cullinan. So it's South Africa is always a good feeder for county cricket. And of course, why not go and earn some UK pounds, you know?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You played a lot of cricket. You played basically all year round then.
Well, it was my time, it was 6 months Derbyshire, 6 months Province.
Yeah.
I think these days it's probably you're on apart from the franchise cricket, I don't know how it quite works these days.
Yeah.
But
They'll go for probably about 4 months at a time and then come back for the summer here.
I think Wayne Matson is a great example. He's done brilliantly with Derbyshire.
Yeah.
He's a legend there.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely. Mickey Arthur is involved at Derbyshire, if I'm not mistaken.
I see Wayne Matson is now captain of Italy.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
Beautiful. John Smuts has just also made the Italian side
And a lot of them are making the Netherlands side.
Yeah.
I mean, goodness gracious.
associate cricket, eh?
The guys are choosing their partners well.
Absolutely. John Smuts always dreamed of playing for Italy.
Ryan Tenishadi came out of my academy, Western Province.
Yeah, he was at UCT, yeah?
Captain of the Netherlands.
Yeah.
He did brilliantly with Essex.
Yeah.
When I think back to the academies, the academies of the early 2000s, a lot of the Western Province boys came through that. Roy Cranefeld, JP Duminy, lots of them.
Vernon Verlander.
Vernon.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great to see. Aludin Palika has become a world famous umpire.
Yeah.
He's now on the elite panel.
Was he in the academy?
He was in my academy.
Interesting.
Yeah, but he was a sort of a lean sort of a guy. Didn't have the power.
Okay.
But he just loved the game.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I never knew he actually he had quite a playing career. That's cool too.
Yeah, we got him to go to the Titans. His father's a wonderful man, very well an umpire. Pallis, I call him Pallis. Are you Mr. Pallis?
Yeah.
And of course, off he goes. Rory Kleinveld.
Yeah. Coach now at Province.
Ashel Prince.
Yeah.
Although Ashel wasn't in the academy.
No, he came from Eastern
When I was
Province.
coaching Province, he became the captain. In fact, he was the first player of colour, if I might say that, who captained Western Province
Yes.
at the time, way back in 2000 and I think 5, I think. Yeah.
He broke some barriers. Actually, we had him on the show as well, and he had some great stories to tell.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you about, and I did a little bit of research and made a couple of calls to a couple of older journo friends of mine, and they said that rugby could have been your first love. Is that true?
Well, yeah, it was right here on this field. That's where we used to play our first team matches.
Yeah.
And on the side was the under 16 and things like that. So, yeah, Sachs High School, again, you know, being a very well-balanced school with academics and sport. You know, if I could pass matric, anybody could pass matric. So I actually asked them to keep me back 1 year.
Yeah, so you can carry on playing.
Got a better standard 9 pass into matric. Actually what happened. So we never looked back on that one.
Yeah.
But rugby was great. Good coaches and, you know, going down to Newlands Rugby, you know what it's like. Newlands Rugby Stadium, the culture
Yeah.
and the competitiveness of the Western Cape schools. Of course, trips to Paarl and Stellenbosch every now and again to play Paarl Boys and Paarl Gym.
Yeah.
Or Paul Roos away.
Yeah.
Quite an ordeal.
Yeah.
So, yes, it was you had quite
That
a
was
lot
fun.
of absentees on the Friday before that Saturday.
But you enjoyed the challenge. You were
Absolutely, yes. Skalkberger, my feud with Skalkberger Senior.
Yeah.
In those days, we were part of the same Province Craven Week in 1973, I think it was.
Okay.
72, yeah, in Stellenbosch.
Yeah.
We had a great week, but I was playing with Skalk and other boys from Paarl Boys and Paarl Gym. 2 weeks later, when the term started again, we had a Paarl Gym away. Well, it was a great rugby match, although we won 10-9 in the final minute.
Yeah.
They drew a picture of me lying on a stretcher in plaster of Paris and things like this. And they stuck it under our change room door just before the start of the match.
That's a great story.
I knew this was Skalkberger.
Yeah.
Trying to, Seppi de Toy was their centre. No, they were full of nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the rivalry was there.
No, rivalry was there,
And you still speak to him these days?
Of course, well, actually, I'm coaching his grandson.
His grandson, Skulks.
So you got Skalk Senior,
Yeah.
the Skalkberger now,
Yeah.
see on TV, great guy.
Yeah.
His son, Skara, he's in my under 14A side.
Decent cricketer because Skulk was
Yes,
a
he bowls
cricketer at
nice
school.
little in-swingers.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Maybe you can pick cricket instead of rugby.
Well, they got another little son, his brother, is coming up from the junior school.
Yeah.
And Andy, my brother, says that he's the real deal.
He's a
like
big
going to be
one.
like his father.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And he plays cricket too, so that's good news.
And you played against you played for the Quackers, just against the British and Irish Lions. Explain that.
Yeah, that the Quackers in those days, yes, it was almost like the Young Turks, as they called us, way back in 1974. And that was with Gavin Cowley. And Paul Bavell was a scrum half in those days.
Mm-hmm.
We had the border bullet on the right wing called Alan Stevenson
Okay.
from East London. He was quick. It was amazing, it was like 50,000 people on a Wednesday afternoon.
Unreal.
And naturally I was terrified,
Yeah.
but got through the match, was able to have a good game. And funnily enough, during the last 4 years, my opposing fly-off of that day, that British Lions, which is, for me, the greatest British Lions squad ever to tour South Africa. My opposing fly-off that day was Ian McGeechan,
Oh wow.
who went on
Former
to manage
coach
the
of-
British Lions, and he lives in Yorkshire, but he came and gave a talk on the Isle of Man, and with another well-known Welsh flank forward. It was a great evening. And he must have recognized me because I recognized him instantly. And he didn't have to mention me, and he mentioned me in his talk that we were opposing fly-halves in those days.
Yeah.
I was quite sort of honored.
Yeah.
The great Ian McGeechan.
Coached the Lions as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
British Lions. And so we were able to have a chat after he's delivered his speech.
Yeah.
But it was fantastic, it's what it's all about.
Sport is about stories, and you never know where you're going to land up. Just want to go to that famous 1992 World Cup. That's where I've mentioned it a couple of times on the podcast. That's where my real love for cricket was ignited by the likes of yourself, Adrian Caper, etc. Some say before John T. Rhodes there was Peter Kirsten. Obviously, you guys played in that 92 World Cup together, but some say you set the tone for that kind of fielding way ahead of its time. What was it about fielding before we get to your batting and your not relative part-time, your bowling? Fielding was your game.
Yeah, absolutely. I love John T. Rhodes, but he's often came to me and said, Peter, I used to idolize you. Which is, I didn't know that. I said, thanks, John T. That's fantastic. But some of us do have egos every now and again, because he removed me from cover point to cover. So I was a little bit, who's this young whippersnapper coming to do this to me? But it was all natural. I mean, he's a brilliant fielder, a brilliant fielder. So, he's his first, as I recall, his first class match for Natal was against Province, and he got 100. He was unorthodox, but brilliant, obviously brilliant in the field. So you could see that this was a young star coming up.
Yeah.
So to be a part of the same World Cup team was amazing. because he played some great innings as well, batted with him. And, of course, in the field,
How did that, you mentioned that you weren't part of the original squad with Clive and Jimmy. What happened that you were actually then called to the squad?
Well, good question. I think the mistake that Clive and Jimmy might have made was there was this picture because we'd done so well domestically over all these years, and all of us still very good cricketers. Kepler Wessels was doing a good job as captain of Eastern Province, and there was this picture of Jimmy pushing a wheelchair, Ricey in a wheelchair. Which got to the Sunday Times, the press and everything, which didn't go down too well with guys like Peter van der Merwe, who was convener at the time.
Yeah.
But I was, I recall that initial squad of 18, I phoned Dr. Ali Bacher because I always had a good relationship with him. And I said, Doc, what's going on here? This is devastating. Because I was still playing quite well for Border, but it became an age thing.
Yeah.
Which was stuck in Peter van der Merwe's mind and other selectors. So I said, Peter, don't panic, just keep on scoring runs like you're doing. And what he was trying to say was that I'll have a quiet word with the folks, the main people. Because Kepler was on my side too, because I was at that time Border and he was captain of EP, so there was this Eastern Cape whatever you want to call
Brotherhood.
it. Yeah. Peter van der Merwe, convener of selectors, EP, Jeff Dakin, president of South Africa, EP. So that helped. Because I remember, when Kepler switched from the Aussie rebel side to the South African rebel side, you might recall, we shared a room together and we were running from the stadium back to the hotel. So we conjured up quite a nice relationship. Plus, in our earlier days at Nuffield Week, we were vying for that batting spot. So the one year I was the 12th man, Kepler made it. The other year, I got the vice captaincy and got the 100 against Northerns, and he was left out of the squad. Sure. So there was always this sort of competitive edge, which was good, It was never nice.
Drove both of you,
Yeah. So I became his right-hand man at the World Cup '92. Yeah.
Was there any animosity from like Jimmy or Clive after you had made that squad and they were still at that?
I wouldn't say animosity, but definitely disappointment. Ricey was one of my favourite captains. Always got on well with him, and despite our games, Transvaal versus Western Province, there was professional respect. Obviously, Jimmy must have been disappointed. I mean, I would have been. So So in '92, I was 36 years of age. Jimmy a bit older than me, and Ricey nearing 40. So I think. We'd just been to India. You remember that whistle-stop tour of 3 ODIs just after the release of Nelson Mandela. And we all got on well, It was the start of... That was the last time Ricey played for South Africa.
Sure.
Yeah, because Kepler took took over the captaincy. Yeah.
The India then, when you went in 1991, how is it different to how India is now as the powerhouse of cricket? Could you envisage that back then?
Well, yeah, I'm just so lucky to have been part of that whole pioneering tour. It was organised within a week, and suddenly we were on a chartered flight with our partners. It was incredible. It was like a huge happening.
Yeah.
We just got back from the West Indies, I think. Pack your bags, we're off again.
Sure.
Crazy. Or maybe it was the other way around. But then suddenly we get off the plane and we now transferred to our hotel. I think it was probably Mumbai. But the streets were just aligned with Indians just welcoming us. It was incredible. Like, who is this? Is this South Africa? Are they from outer space?
Did you feel the occasion? I mean, it was historic. Did you feel the history?
So we were overwhelmed because suddenly we're playing in front of 90,000 people.
Wow.
In Calcutta, and we lost it. No doubt, we were going to lose it.
Yeah.
I think Alan Donald got 5 wickets. I think Sashin got 100. I got out for 5, played a poor shot, and Kepler got runs. So we lost the first 2 badly, and then Ali Bacher showed his mettle and he said, "Listen, guys, this party's over now. We got to start winning. So get your minds right. So we did. And the last one was at New Delhi, I think, Delhi, where I was lucky enough to get man of the match, 80-odd, coming in at number 3 or 4. Kepler got runs. Capes hit a fantastic, Adrian hit fantastic 50, 60.
Yeah.
He should have got man of the match, not me. I just took the ones. But that was that tour. That was it. And then suddenly into the World Cup. Yeah.
That World Cup, I mean, Adrian spoke about the being a little bit sheltered from the media because there wasn't many of you guys who had faced that kind of scrutiny before. And obviously the South African team was the darlings of the World Cup. But, you know, facing up at the tender age of 36, walking out for South Africa in that World Cup, what were the feelings going? Can you remember, can you still feel what was going on inside you?
Well, that was 92. So I think experience, mental comfort, mental stability helped me big time because I was well prepared. I was playing good cricket for Border. And again, that Kepler wanted me in the side as a senior pro. And it worked because, as I said, we had very good preparation in Zimbabwe leading up to the tour. We played a few practice matches there, so time at the crease, you know.
Yeah.
Very important. When I look back at what I've heard with England versus Australia, their preparation for this latest Ashes series, it's crazy what they did, you know.
A lot of goals.
You've got to go to Australia prepared. And then we had 2 practice matches before the World Cup in Australia. One against West Australia and another against the Universities 11. So our preparation was very good. So, you know, it helps if you've got form leading into a tournament. It just prepares you mentally. Keeping yourself mentally fit, obviously. That was a big, big challenge for me. But I got through it. Missed one game, I think, against Pakistan through a calf injury. But, no.
And somehow you were the leading run scorer for South Africa and 3rd overall.
They say so.
Not a bad effort for somebody that comes in late, eh?
Well, I was just in good shape. I was in good form, and you know, the great thing is we were able to compare our talents and skills against the top players of the world. You look at Imran Khan, Pakistan. Played against him when he played for LaRue for Sussex. I always enjoyed Imran Khan. You know, he's always to me very approachable. Because what I liked about that tour was being the eldest, the senior pro of the South African team. I enjoyed the functions we went to because you knew you didn't have too much longer. Yeah. So get out there, meet the folks, and talk to the folks. Yeah. England had Graham Gooch, Lammy, both of them, Graham Hick. Every country had top players. Yeah. You know, so that was enjoyable. So Zimbabwe had Duncan Fletcher, the Flower Brothers, Dave Houghton. Yeah, so it was
legendary names there.
It was a good balance between the playing and the socialising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, I mean, we can talk about the disappointment of the semi-final, but there must have been an element when the dust had settled from your side that a major sense of pride that you had that opportunity that you deserved. I mean, we don't need to be humble about it. You deserve that opportunity. Was there a massive sense of pride?
Well, I think more than that, I deserved it because I'd worked hard.
Yeah.
I mentioned my old sax coach, Andre Abrahams. And, come on, come on, Andre, please come throw me some balls. He just tweaked it a bit, you know. And he was a great man for the wrists, play the ball late. And I still, to this day, with my own coaching, I use tennis balls to improve the wrists in the shot, hand speed.
Yeah.
Because he loved watching. He was a great Australian supporter. And he was great on hand speed and things like his preparation. Yeah. Spent hours with me with tennis balls.
Wow.
So those kinds of things helped me big time for the World Cup. And so we worked hard and,
Did you feel like when you came back that the profile of cricket in this country just went through the roof?
In many ways it did. I think it's normal for your South African team, if you've had a good series, you would have think we'd won the World Cup when when we got back home, so we got a fantastic reception at the Johannesburg International Airport. And then, of course, it was difficult to get back to normality because of the hype,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think people, of course, Australia is normally 9 hours ahead of us in time. So people were from midnight up watching cricket through the night.
Yeah.
So we all went crazy for that period of time. And then,
Your half brother Gary came along a bit later. The Kirsten name obviously is synonymous with South African cricket and South African sport generally.
Well, again, Gary, part of the culture, in our case, the same DNA. We were lucky enough to play together for Western Province as he's coming up into the ranks. He started off at number 5, batting, I think, or 4. And then I was still going quite nicely. This is way back in 89, 90, before I moved to Border, before the World Cup. So we'd had a season or two together, put on some really nice partnerships. So that was great. I remember I used to have this little rubber duck, 15 horsepower motor. Used to take it to Niza on the lagoon there during our holidays. And I said, Gazza, come and join us. Come and join us for a few days. Because he was struggling for province. And I was playing for Border. In fact, it was the start of the 1990, I think it was the 1992-93 season. Because he had been struggling a bit. And he was batting 4 or 5 for province. And I was going to move myself up the order for Border. I said, and we've got about 12 beers between the two of us, trying to fish. We were just sort of fabricating the fishing. So we'd had a few beers and we had a strategy. Gary, you go and open for Western Province and I'll go and open for Border.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and that's exactly what we did. By the end of 93, we were both in that South African side because he was picked to replace Brian McMillan as a fast bowler.
Wow. Crazy.
Opening the batting.
Yeah.
Because Mac got an injury or something, and then Kepler broke his finger in the Sydney Test match. I was actually left out of that team too. Kepler had to be replaced, so they called me up.
Sure.
So we ended up playing together, opening the batting in the ODIs. That's we both got hit on the head at Perth. He against it was a double header the one weekend.
Yeah.
He against New Zealand.
Yeah.
But he got up and went on, and the next day I got hit by Glenn McGrath and ended up in hospital for a night.
I remember
but
that.
Was playing again a week later. So we opened the batting again at the MCG against the same Australian side.
Yeah.
That was his first ODI 100.
Wow.
Way back in,
Yeah.
I think.
And you were there?
94, yeah.
Was your family there as
I
well?
got about 28 and then probably had enough of McGrath bowling at my head and things like this.
A young Glenn McGrath was not a batsman's dream, that's for sure, huh?
Yeah, so it was great batting with Gazza for South Africa. But unfortunately, the 94 Tour of England, now I'm 39 and I'm getting older.
Almost getting old. Not there just
So
yet.
I've just scored my only official Test 100,
Yeah.
age 39,
Yeah.
which is far too old. So we have a match against the minor counties after this Test, but we've got the third Test coming up. We won up in the series. Kepler comes to me. He said, Kirsy, I need to chat with you. I said, yes, trouble. Because Angie Cronje was struggling.
Yeah.
Okay. Andrew Hudson was also struggling. And I'm playing good at number 5. He says, Kirsy, I want you to open the batting. I was shocked. But I knew it was coming. He said, and he played on the emotional side, I want you to open with your brother Gary.
Oh, there we go. Play on the emotions.
I knew this could possibly be my last Test for South Africa. Because Peter Pollock was convener of selectors and he was watching me.
Yeah.
He was saying, I'm too old, you can't. He was probably right. Anyway, so the next Test is at the Oval, which is a bouncy wicket. And I always struggled at this field because the side screens were quite sort of low. And as it turned out, Devon Malcolm bowled us out. And the bounce that day, I think we batted second. But no, it was a bad decision on my part to accept Kepler's proposal. I should have said, Captain, you go and open and I'm staying at 5. But the other thing he said, we have to bring in Daryl Cullinan which they did. So it worked because Daryl got 90 odd in one of the innings, coming in at number 3, I think. Yeah.
Sure.
So I was sacrificed.
That was the day Malcolm got 9 for 70.
Correct.
Yeah,
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, did you say,
I was put out to pasture.
yeah,
That's it.
Sacrificial lamb.
Tender age of 30.
at the tender age of 39? But I mean, you had as good a career from an international point of view, from a timing point of view, from a readmission point of view that you possibly could have. You must be very proud of that.
I can't complain. I'm very lucky. You know, look at Ken McKeown, you look at Rice, you look at Vince van der Bijl, you look at a lot of them, Kevin McKenzie, Henry Fothering, or loads of us, you know. With no disrespect to the names I've left out, but no, I was lucky. And yeah.
Do you speak to any of those guys these days? Are you close with any of the former players?
I haven't seen Jimmy since I've been here, but I've been away. So that's not, yeah. No.
You and Jimmy from
Neil
both
McCain's
generation, you still wear shorts at your tender age of 70.
Exactly.
He's still in his shorts and coaching.
That's it.
Different era, huh?
It is a different era, but I think I'm not too sure how to answer that, but I kept myself fit.
Yeah.
I enjoy the kids.
Yeah.
Always enjoyed Gary and the work that he does and what he's doing.
Yeah.
So brother Andy down at the junior school. Had a long chat with Neil McKenzie over the weekend. He's involved to a degree also here at Sax.
Yeah, he's based in Cape Town these days.
Yeah, he's nice to chat with.
Yeah.
So I keep in touch with my border mates, border cricket, and I see quite a lot of the guys at various social events, you know, like speaking engagements. They had a lovely dinner, not dinner, but a speaking engagement at the Western Province Cricket Club way back in November. But that encapsulated mostly spectators and parents of the 80s era.
Yeah.
So, but it was nice to talk and things like that.
Nice to talk about days gone by. I wanted to actually ask you about the border move. Firstly, like why, and secondly, it was actually the start of a very golden era for border cricket. The likes of Boucher and Teeny coming through, I suppose, when you were there. Is that correct?
Well, I think I've always had this emotional affinity for border because I was at Selborne Primary. They thought that I was pretty good at rugby and cricket and all that. Not a very good head boy of Selborne Primary, but in fact, I was very poor. But I loved my school career there, great teachers, and of course, they're still my mates today. And Kenny Watson was at Dale, and Ian Greg Hayes at Queen's. So we had, that's still today, Dale, Queen's, Selborne. Other schools have now really joined the elite group. So that was good. And so then our father, there was divorce in the family. So Dad said, look, you must come to Cape Town. I didn't want to, but he said, it'll be better for your sport. And he was probably right. But you never forgot your mates, you know. So that's what the affinity was. So after 17 years for Western Province, I thought the time is right because they were doing very nicely border. Ian, the Howell brothers, Greg Hayes, as I mentioned, Ivor Folks, quite a lot of them, Watto, Kenny. And Robbie Mazel was the president, and of course the late Robbie Armitage, who played many years for Eastern Province, was the marketing strategist.
Okay.
So they were quite clever and they got the money together and the marketing side was good. Club cricket was good. So I just thought after 17 years, played 2 seasons with Gary, time to move on, because then you had Herschel Gibbs coming through, Callis, Eric Simons, a lot of the good young players through the 90s era and things. So it wasn't a difficult decision, you know.
Yeah.
And so we built border cricket up. And so part of the policy there was to let's get the former border guys together like McKeown, Watson, well, he was already there, myself, Striker Stratham.
Peter Kirsten.
We had a Striker Stratham from UPE, and Rhodes University was a big feeder. So Robbie Mazel and the powers that be were able to get Rhodes University East London division So that helped to get quite a few of the guys from there to Rhodes, East London.
Okay.
So they put Rhodes into the Border League instead of the EP League. So it was quite robust.
Yeah.
So it was an exciting 10-year era.
And some talent coming through.
A lot of talent, yeah.
Boucher comes from that.
Peter Border, the current cricket coach, bowling coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Greg Hay did brilliant work with cricket development in the rural areas. Ntini came through. Yeah.
Some amazing talent coming through, and it's still a breeding ground for some serious talent.
Well, it's a breeding ground, but it's sad to see that they're languishing. We'll call it the B section. I'm not too sure.
Division 2.
They should be higher than where they're playing at the moment. Yeah.
Tell me, post career now, you've called time on your career eventually at what age was that? 40 odd.
I was 42.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed my commentary on the radio.
You did some writing as well. I remember.
Yeah.
Write for the newspapers.
Yeah, I was all those sort of media-related activities. And
I love listening to you on radio. That was actually some of my greatest times, and that's lacking these days, the live test match commentary on Radio 2000.
Yeah, I love the radio commentary too. I think we were radio, SABC, I think... I don't know the full story, but they released quite a few of us way back in 2017.
Yeah.
Maybe they'd run out of money because the money was going
elsewhere.
So, the radio commentary was very nice. Very, very enjoyed that. Yeah.
We have a little section called the Declaration, which is quickfire questions. First question, the most underrated player you ever played with?
In South Africa or globally?
Globally, either or.
Globally, underrated. Wow.
Maybe both.
Quite a lot of them. I don't think the world heard much of Andy Roberts, the great West Indian fast bowler, played for Hampshire. When I first started playing for Derbyshire, he was quicker than Sylvester.
Yeah.
He might not be underrated in England and the West Indies, but from a South African perspective, he's the one.
Yeah.
Henry Fotheringham. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Current player who you'd pay to watch? Current
player, globally.
Yeah.
Joe Root.
Joe Root, interesting.
Yeah.
Just old school
technique
and just...
He's a Yorkshireman. I got my own maiden test 100 in front of the Yorkshire crowd, Headingley. Derbyshire versus Yorkshire. They are... Cricket, it's in the DNA.
Yeah.
And so Yorkshire for me has always been a... But Joe Root, just the way I loved when I was commentating. I loved describing his innings.
Yeah.
He struggled in Australia, but who doesn't? Yeah, but lovely to watch.
He did okay now. He finally got his 100 now in Australia.
2 of them. Yeah.
The greatest bowler you've ever faced?
I've often been asked that question, the quickest, not the greatest. The quickest would be obviously Sylvester, not with his speed in there, but his bounce and stuff. In fact, endorsed by the great Desmond Haynes and Viv Richards. So if they struggle against him, I don't feel too bad. Malcolm Marshall.
Yeah. I wanted to just ask you about, facing bowlers like Sylvester Clarke, and what goes through your head mentally when you face them. I'd love to hear that.
Well, I'm not gonna get anything on the front foot, so I'm gonna hook him and cut him.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna duck and leave.
Yeah.
So So very seldom would you're able to get on the front foot. Yeah.
Nice. If there was one rule that you could change in cricket, in world cricket currently, what would that be?
Oh, that's easy. It's the run-out rule at the non-striker's end when a guy plays a great shot, nicks the fingers onto the... That is so unfair, you know.
Happened in the final with SA20 the other day.
School match the other day, you know. Crazy.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't be,
yeah.
You know.
I like that.
No.
The best county player you've ever played with? With, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to be a bit biased here because I always loved batting with a good left-hander, so it'd have to be John Wright.
John Wright.
New Zealander.
Yeah.
So my top lefties I batted with was Gary Kirsten, John Wright and Hilton Ackerman. And so that's an easy one, John Wright. Yeah.
Nice. And then a player from your era who would have been a 10 million rand buy in the SA20 auction.
Player from my era.
Besides for you, of course.
Well, I've got to say, Adrian Caper.
Mm.
Wow. Imagine him in 2020. Caper. Wow. Yeah, he comes to mind.
We asked him about it. He said we must put him in the next auction. He'll be available. Just give him 3 months' notice so he can work on his fitness.
Yeah, no, he would have been awesome, I think, you know.
You would have enjoyed a bit of SA20 as well, huh?
Yes, we would have, yes.
You would have enjoyed it.
Bowling a bit. Yeah.
Peter, it's been an absolute pleasure.
But thank you. I've just got to add one more.
Yeah,
Most
please.
iconic moment was we played Pakistan. Before Pakistan, it's meeting the president. And this president was Nelson Mandela. Tall man, a man of presence. It was an honor meeting him. So he comes to me and he says, I see you the older one. Never forget that.
And what was
The
your
way he said it. In fact, I've got a picture of him shaking my hand.
yeah?
Yeah.
What was your response then?
I just said, yes, sir.
I'll take
I
that.
didn't say too much. I said, thank you, sir.
Yeah,
I had to look up because he's a tall man. Oh, no, great aura.
yeah,
The other one was meeting Mother Teresa
Yeah.
in India when Rasi was the captain.
yes,
I've never seen Rasi so speechless.
really,
But what an honor, you know. Those moments.
yeah,
But Nelson
Those-
Mandela has to be.
yeah.
One question on Rice. How good was he?
Rasi was a great competitor. He played captain Nottinghamshire during that successful era with Richard Hadley. So they had a mean fast bowling attack. And Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire is right next door to each other. So we used to go and watch Nottingham Forest. Rice used to offer me tickets. It was amazing. And Hadley, Rice, myself, watching together. When it came to playing cricket against each other, it was trying to knock you out, you know. Same thing, Transvaal, Western Province. So, but Rice, he was just a nice man. And on the field, he was a gladiator. He was like Imran Khan. You know, never played Test cricket. Yeah, crazy. My favourite captain.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Peter Kirsten, it's been an absolute honour. Thank you for making time to be on The Biggest Man in Cricket. We really appreciate your time. And good luck with your coaching. The young kids at Sax are very lucky to have you as the coach. The Kirsten name continues the legacy in South African cricket. And
Fantastic.
wish you everything on the best. It's been wonderful to see you. And we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.